So this is part 2, continuation of Rachel Wood's tarot reading. So the question was, who's the controlling one in the relationship? Who was the controlling one in the relationship? Right? Yes, it's like kind of like a story. Reading tarot is like trying to intuitively understand what's going on and what the cards are trying to say, and to tie it in to the people, and then to create a narrative and a story of what the cards are trying to say. So I'm asking, who was Lord, Universe, Angels, and Spirit Guides? Please step forward and answer. Who was the controlling one? Was it Rachel Wood, or was it him? Or was it Marilyn Manson? Let's see, who was it? Temperance reversed. So that talks about like people that were rushing into something and they had no patience. The Star. Someone who's feeling like it was unfair. They were unfairly treated and they have broken dreams. The Star reversed. And then it talks about like people collaborating together. So I feel like it was more like a work. It was somewhat of a working relationship. It was more like, how do you say? It wasn't necessarily on the one side. Let's see if I'm right. It was like they were working together as a team well, but I guess for their work. Why does it talk about teamwork? 3 of Pentacles. Like it says, temperance reverse. Like they wanted to, something was being rushed and somebody had no patience, and it was like they wanted the delays to end now. And then we have the Star. Let's see if we can pull it together. How does that answer my question to who was the controlling one? So there was somebody who was very impatient and impulsive and closed-minded and dishonest and feeling despair and negative energy and delusions, and their feelings are unfulfilled. And then we have 3 of Pentacles, which talks about creating something new together. So I feel like one of them felt like they can create something amazing together. You know, some sort of, if they're a teamwork and they're committed to each other and committed to the job, then they can kind of create something magnificent. But it required them to take action. So it's all about like working. The work was, I feel like the work in the relationship was put above the actual relationship because it's Mars and Capricorn, and it was aggression. There was aggression and focus on the work. And then we have Ace of Cups, which talks about like, it seems to say there was like an overflowing energy of love between the two of them. And they felt like it was everlasting and it would never end. And then somebody lost confidence. The question is, who is this talking about? Is it both of them? Is it just one of them? 7 of Wands talks about like someone feeling like they need to back down because they have destroyed confidence, bad self-esteem. The Wheel of Fortune. Who had destroyed confidence? Who had destroyed confidence? Was it Rachel or was it Marilyn Manson? It's weird to say Marilyn about a guy because like that's like Marilyn Monroe. You know what I mean? Broken home, private celebrations, no family support. It's not saying. I feel like it was probably equal energy. It probably wasn't just one-sided because it refuses to give me the person who did this, who was responsible for the aggression and the dashing of the self-esteem. So I feel like they were probably toxic for each other, you know? And then we have Wheel of Fortune, which talks about things were getting better between them. It seems to say like Wheel of Fortune is like a wheel of suffering as well. So it could be that they got that balance. It was like up and down. It was like up and down. Their relationship was like seasonal. You know, it was like sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. And then you have the Wheel of Fortune, it's seasonal, and it also talks about, 1 second, I lose my train of thought. I sometimes have to, it helps me with my notes. Yeah, it's the wheel of suffering, basically. It wasn't easy. They were both suffering throughout this relationship, and then it came a point where they felt like no one was supporting them, and anything they would do, they would have to do privately, because nobody, like their family and friends, doesn't seem to be that they supported them. And then we have Two of Pentacles, which talks about juggling emotions and partnerships and trying to figure out, like, balance their projects, and they were trying to be flexible and manage their time, and there was lots of financial stress, and there was lots of choices and decisions that needed to be made, I guess, about his work, with their work, whatever it was. So what I'm getting from this entire reading is, it was kind of like an equal relationship, even though one person felt like it was unfair, because, like in the other reading, it seemed to say, like, Marilyn Manson felt he was more important in the relationship because of his status, but I see them being like a partnership, and being on and off, up and down, toxic a bit. So the question is, so I don't feel like either of them hurt each other, really. The question is, let me ask again, specific question. Did Marilyn Manson abuse Rachel Woods? Let's see if we get an answer. 6 of Swords, Queen of Wands, reversed, Knight of Cups, and the Chariot. Yin and Yang, it's a balance. Things were moving well. 6 of Cups. I feel like Marilyn Manson has like a lot of baggage, like everybody else, but he has lots of trauma from his childhood or something, from his past, and he was trying to move from one way of thinking into another way of thinking, and he was trying to travel from mentally and logically. He was trying to move into a different way of thinking. And 6 of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius, so that talks about, like, he was communicating a lot with her, and it was in Aquarius, and Aquarius is, it could be that he was also a bit of an impulsive loner, it could be that he was, because Aquarius could be a bit lonely, like they could just be lonely without even knowing it, they just stay lonely. It could be that either one of them, I feel like he was more the one that was kind of emotionally detached. Do you know what I mean? And one of them didn't want to get tied down. I feel like it might have been Rachel Wood, It's like this weird energy between them. I can't pinpoint who's the one that's responsible for either alleged abuse, you know what I mean? Mercury in Aquarius, it's like, in Venus and Gemini, communication, and it's Gemini energy, which is like two-faced, Then we have Queen of Wands reversed. So that usually means it's a woman who is very selfish and jealous and insecure. So she was like basically very, very jealous and insecure in the relationship, and she loved attention, and she was a bit mean, it seemed to say. And he felt that from her, that she was really mean. And probably like passive aggressive, and he didn't trust her. But then the question is, I have Knight of Cups, so moodiness, disappointment. He was very dramatic as well. He was moody and disappointed. I feel like they disappointed each other. Dramatic, obsessive, idealistic. He was looking for perfection. She was looking for perfection. I feel like he was looking for perfection maybe from her, you know? Let's see. Was he the one that was looking for perfection? Was he the one looking for perfection? Or was it her? Was he the one that was looking for perfection? Like someone who's looking for perfection is usually very critical, you know? So like it seems like there's like lots of drama in the relationship, and the hangman, sacrifice, trying to see. I feel like he was trying to see like from a different point of view, and he felt like he had to sacrifice for her. What did he have to sacrifice for her? He had to sacrifice for her what? What do you have to sacrifice? Money? Queen of Pentacles. He has to sacrifice having a family. Having a stable woman in his life and having family. Because I feel like from my other reading in the first video, I felt like he was committed to her, but she didn't see him as someone for long term. You know what I mean? So, Queen of Pentacles, upright, is, see, very rich healer, wonderful mom, high social. Like he wanted to have kids and with her, with a woman, and she didn't want it. You know what I mean? 10 of Cups, the happy family. He would have to sacrifice himself, his family, his emotional happiness, stable, his contentment. He wanted a growing family. So the next question I'm going to ask is Mars and Pisces. Mars and Pisces, aggression in somebody who's emotionally needy. I feel like he was also emotionally needy. You know, like one of them was being emotionally distant and cold. And I would say that's Rachel. It could be they were both that way, like they were both toxic. So the next question I'm going to ask is, why is Rachel Evan Wood, why is she coming, why is she doing this? Why is she speaking, why is she telling people that Marylin hurt her? Why is she telling people that Marylin did terrible things to her? Why is Rachel Evan Wood telling people that everybody's like, that he did bad things to her? Like, why? What does she have to gain? The Star. She didn't get her wishes granted. The Star. Unfulfilled wishes. Unfairness. She felt like she was treated unfairly. And there was no she wanted give and take. She wanted an equal relationship. Blocked emotions. Ace of Cups. Somebody who has blocked emotions. Temperance. Someone who wanted to try different waters, try different things, see which way the wind blows. Six of Pentacles is also like, it talks about being happy, finding happiness through giving and receiving. You know, you're doing volunteer work or giving and receiving. I always have to look them up because I have a bad memory. Balancing the books, paychecks, donations. It was about money as well. Yeah. Getting through something. She felt like she was being treated unfairly and she wasn't getting money. You know, she felt like he wasn't generous enough. And then there's Ace of Cups reverse, which is like emotional loss, blocked energy, guarded heart numbness, ignoring intuition. And then there was Temperance. Trying different waters, going with the flow, trying different things, yin and yang balance. Nine of Swords, getting to the root of a problem. Getting to the root of a problem, feeling despair. Nine of Swords. Reaching out, self-destructive thoughts. She's having self-destructive thoughts, but why? Why is she having... Maybe she has mental problems, like she has some sort of depression. And she feels like she was treated unfairly and she wants money from him because she feels like she deserves more because of the alleged work she did with him. So, why is she having these thoughts? Self-destructive thoughts. She's in a lot of mental anguish, mental agony. She wants money. Like Page of Pentacles is, it's the messenger, it's the communication, new projects. She wants to start new projects. Ten of Swords, reverse, it talks about like she's hit rock bottom and she feels like she can't take the pain anymore and she just wants to go upward from here. So she has some sort of depressing thoughts. Ten of Swords, she feels hopeless for some reason. Page of Pentacles, upright. The question is, like, is she still in love with him? Like, what's the story? Scary good news. Stick to goals. Physical research projects. She's taking a radical shift in this direction to lay a foundation for long term. For long term, pages are discoveries, healthy lifestyle. It's also about money. Astro Taurus, Venus. She wants beautiful things. So the question is, did he dump her? Did he dump her? Is he trying to get back at her because she was dumped? Or did she dump him? Did he dump her? The Empress. Do they have a kid together? Do they have a child together? Like, the Empress upright. I don't think he dumped her. He thought she was like the most beautiful thing that ever existed. Oh my god, did they have a kid together? Ten of Cups. Did they have a kid together that no one knows about? Ten of Cups. Like, I don't think he dumped her. Did she dump him? I don't think he dumped her. He wanted to have a family with her, but I feel like he knew that she wasn't family material for him. Did she dump him? So, like, I'm not picking up any, like, abusive vibes or any of that, like, bad energy. Four of Pentacles. She's holding on to the past. Reaping what you sow. Getting the results for your, yeah, I think she dumped him. Seven of Pentacles. It talks about seeing the results for your hard work. But Four of Pentacles. She's stuck in the past. She's holding on to people. Four of Pentacles reversed. Greedy. She's greedy. She wants his money. She's possessive. I feel like she's run out of money, you know, and she's reaping what she sows, you know, like she's getting what she worked for. She's basically, she made her bed, now she's laying in it. You know what I mean? I think she did dump him. Maybe for another guy. Did she dump him for another guy? Knight of Pentacles, something for long term. Like, I feel like he wanted her for long term, Knight of Pentacles. But Four of Cups. She wasn't open. She wasn't open to it. And someone was refusing to give up. Someone wanted to walk away. Was refusing to give up. I'm trying to understand. So the question was, did she dump him? So the question was, I'm getting all these Eight of Cups that talks about refusing to give up. Could it be that she would dump him and then go back to him and dump him and go back to him, dump him and go back to him? Hi, Ember. How are you? Avoidance, fear of change, fear of loss. Feel like something was missing, running away. So she was one that ran away. She's the one that ran away, but then she was afraid of change, you know. So she would go back to him. A little bit. She would go back to him because so it seems like it was like an on and off relationship. Damn, I'm having bad luck today. The spirits don't want me to delve deeper. There's all about money, and she's stuck in the past because it could be that once she dumped him, you know, and after a while she wants to go back, he didn't accept her because he had someone else. I could ask that. Did she want to go back to him after she dumped him? Is it about revenge? Like, why is she talking about this stuff? Why is she attacking the guy if, like if the cards are telling me that he didn't really do anything to her? You know what I mean? So, did she want to go back after she dumped him? Did she want to go back after she dumped him? Pull one card. Yeah, but he was angry. Did he have someone else at the time? King of Wands reverse. It talks about somebody who has a temper. Did he have someone else at the time? He was acting impulsively. King of Wands. He's someone who's angry. So he started having good luck, it seems. He had a moment of good luck, and then he was rejected again by somebody. King of Wands reversed. He had unachievable expectations. He was a bit temperamental, egocentric, and selfish. He did have anger issues. So it could be that, you know, that's something that she was hurt by, but, like, I don't see him being a really bad person. You know what I mean? So, what's the conclusion? What's the conclusion? Right? What does she have to gain? What does she have to gain, Miss Evan Rachel? What does she have to gain by trashing his name, by trashing him? What does she have to gain by trashing him? Page of Cups. Page of Cups. Something new project. New projects. Oh, because I got Page of Pentacles before. I feel like she wants to be like an advocate for like abused people, you know? But she's disconnected from her intuition. She's not connected with herself. Three of Pentacles, lack of collaboration. She can't get anyone to work with her. The High Priestess. Because she doesn't have her, she's not really an intuitive person. Gossip profession. It's all about gossip. She likes to gossip, it seems to say. And she's a very shallow person. She has no depth. So what does she have to gain? Putting down the load of the responsibility. Ten of Wands is putting down the load. Inability to delegate, overstressed, burnt out. She's basically focusing on the wrong priorities, and she feels alone. She's not being very successful with her work. You know, so she feels like she's going to find new projects through She's gonna find new projects through trashing him and gossip and destroying him. Seven of Wands. Someone who's destroyed confidence. Wow, lots of pages. Seven of Wands talks about destroyed confidence, fighting for the wrong thing. She wants him to feel powerless. And then we have Page of Swords, which talks about, again, Page of Swords is messengers and young kids. And it talks about something new, like new ideas or new projects, new situation, invention. Brings rewards. She thinks she'll get rewards for this. Something with children. She thinks she could work with children to help them with their trauma. So what projects, what rewards does she think she's going to get by trashing him? She's a shallow person, it seems to say. She has no depth. So what's she going to gain by trashing him? How's it going to help with her projects? Will it bring her money? You know, will it bring her fame? Wheel of Fortune. She feels like it will bring her good luck by talking about how she suffered. The Wheel of Fortune, it talks about like when karma is, she thinks she's going to get good karma. Like things are changing, it's evolution. She feels like by showing that she's, you know, suffered in the physical world and, you know, things are getting better for her now. So therefore, like I saw, oh my God, I saw her interview where she talks about like how she's so privileged and she was able to like get help, blah blah blah, because she's white and privileged. So this kind of tells me, this card, it kind of coincides with that by saying that she feels like she has, even though she suffered, she's had some sort of good fortune because of her whiteness, and now she wants to help other people through her suffering, you know, and she wants to be evolutionized, you know, she's changing and evolving, and through her experience with men, it's going to bring her money. She thinks that King of Pentacles, it talks about a man who is very mature and could be, does she have a guy, does she have a boyfriend? Is a guy putting her up to this? Wow, it's a businessman through hard work. Through hard work. I feel like there's a guy behind this all. It's like a plan. It's all about the assets. She wants to get money by explaining that she's suffering, you know, so she wants to, you know, make money through her suffering by saying that she's evolving and she is privileged and she can help others by gaining assets, by gaining money from people, assets. What's she eating? Through the money for a guy. Is there a guy behind this? And then it talks about Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups reversed. And Two of Wands. Someone who's, let's see, have bad memory. Fear of change, playing safe, bad planning. She's out of options. I feel like this is the only route she feels like she can go down to make money or make something of herself because she's so shallow, she has nothing to offer. And I mean, I don't know her personally. Was she an actress? And I feel like there's a guy behind her that wants to make her do this programs with kids and bring in money to like an organization. And it's Knight of Cups reversed. Disappointment. But she's disappointed because the guy in her life is disappointed because he is obsessive and idealistic. He's looking for perfection, and he's disappointed because of Two of Wands. Fear of change, playing safe, bad planning, they're out of options. I heard she lost the... what do you call that thing? I heard she lost the court case. Yeah, so what's the question now? Like, what's with this Knight of Cups? What's with the Knight of Cups and the King of Pentacles? Is it her current partner? Is this King of Pentacles her current partner or her old partner from someone from the past? Is it Marilyn Manson from the past, or it's a current partner? Partnerships, decisions, confusion. She's very confused. I feel like when it comes to the men in her life, she just gets really, like, confused, and she's indecisive, and she doesn't know what to do, and she's confused. And it talks about somebody who's rebellious and doesn't conform, and isn't so religious. She's looking for success. I feel like, who's the rebellious one? Nine of Cups. One second. I feel like I'm not really getting understanding or getting unethicalism. She's trying to be the guy now. It's role reversals. Two of Swords. Decisions. Unable to make a decision. Feeling severely confused. Needing to make a decision about something unethical. And it's Nine of Cups. And she feels like she needs to make a decision for her happiness, for her future. Because she wants luxurious living, she wants happiness, and she wants to expand her... she wants to expand her horizons. Five of Pentacles, King of Cups. It's all about men, you know? Whatever, she's got lots of issues with men. Yeah. That's all I'm getting. Maybe I'm just not thinking clearly, or the cards are not giving me... I'm asking the right questions. Usually I get very specific answers. Maybe I need to use different cards as well. Let's try for fun the Aphrodite. Does Evan Rachel Woods still love him? Marilyn Manson. Did she ever love him? Does she love him? Pisces in Mercury, communication, Mercury, the first house. It was all about self-identity. It was all about how you appeared. It was all about outer appearances. That's what it was all about. I feel like for her, how she viewed him it was all about how his outer appearance, how he represented himself to the world, his self-expression, his ego, you know. And I feel like it's kind of like Meghan Markle, who like leeches herself onto a man to feel relevant. And then we have, it's in Pisces, which talks about like people who are emotionally needy. Could be that she was also emotionally needy, you know. Two can exist in one person. It was romantic. You know, it was very romantic, and it was an adventure, and she felt like it was a spiritual growth. It was a spiritual... she felt a spiritual connection with... like, it was kind of like he was taking her out of this world because of his Pisces energy. He probably has that energy. It's like kind of psychic in a way, and it's in Mercury, so... it's all under the subconscious, and subconsciously she felt like he can, you know, he could take her places because of how he represented himself. It's all about like status, kind of like his outer appearance, his first impressions, how his personality, his appearance, and we're in Mercury. Mercury talks about communication, two-faced, It's in Gemini. So Gemini is people who are very indecisive and they're very intellectual. So I feel like she was just kind of intellectually attracted to him because he's very intelligent. I don't really see love here. I just see lots of communication, fun, adventure, self-expression. His appearance, how, you know, like being with him is like makes her look better, you know. Should we see? Should we see? Does he love her? Does he currently love her? Scorpio. Oh, he's having morbid thoughts about her. Morbid sexual, like, thoughts. And it's in Uranus, which is Scorpio's transformation. It could also mean that he's transformed himself. He doesn't anymore have loving feelings for her. But we have, it's in Uranus. Uranus. I'm still learning. Divine Sun changes. Father. I feel like he felt like he was her mentor, you know? The question is, does he feel like that now? You know, it was all about social reform, rebel inventions, intuition changes, unpredictability. I feel like his feelings differ, but on the other hand, the 12th house talks about like endings of service, and the 12th house is about ending of service and the shadow self and the afterlife, the subconscious and his Pisces energy. I keep getting Pisces for this guy. It's like he kind of has this, he's probably a bit psychic, and he's very sensitive, and the 12th house tying in with Scorpio, it's like transformation. It could be he still has sexual thoughts about her, and also like very strong sex, and also like Scorpios, they love horror and morbid things, and they can think of like sexual dark thoughts, and he might still have like sexual feelings for her, but he's a bit unpredictable in that way. Like he can be on and off. It seems to say like he can be like one day feel this way, one day feel that way. But I feel like love for her has ended in the 12th house. And the 12th house talks about, it's in Pisces energy, it's about the subconscious. So subconsciously, I feel like it's probably, subconsciously it's over. It's over between them, like any feelings that he might have had, besides for the sexual feelings. It could also be like sexual feelings, like morbidity, like he could be having dark thoughts about her, like he wants to hurt her sexually, you know? What's it, like masochist? Not a masochist, that's somebody who likes to get tortured. No, sadist, sadistic thoughts. Yeah, so that's the story with Rachel Woods and, what's his name? Marilyn Manson. I don't think he abused her. I just think it was a complicated relationship, and she thinks that she's gonna gain status, and she's gonna be able to, her future will be like, because she's at like a loss of what she's gonna do for her future. She doesn't know what her path is. So I'm guessing like trashing him and gossiping about him because of something that happened because of their relationship, like a million years ago. Like she feels like she can use him because she feels hurt in some way. It probably didn't end well, you know, like which relationship does end well, but he's famous, and she probably feels like he can just push her into a direction of, give her that boost where she can advocate for and raise money and maybe pocket the money, advocate for children who were abused or women who were abused, blah, 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 blah. And it seems to say that she's a superficial person. She's not very deep. So, you know, the question is she lying about the abuse? That's a question I didn't get a clear answer. It didn't say anything about her lying, but it didn't say anything about him abusing her. You know what I mean? Is she lying about the abuse? About his alleged abuse. Let's see. The High Priestess. Knowing your own truth. Knowing the truth about yourself. Secrets. Secrets, mysteries. It talks about somebody who's very mysterious and has lots of secrets. Five of Wands. Five of Wands reversed. Five of Wands reversed. It talks about butting heads with somebody and trying to learn to respect other people's differences and fighting. Chaos, brutality, chaos. It could be there is some truth to what she's saying, but to what extent? You know what I mean? Ace of Swords. Been there, done that, now what? She's obtained something. You know, it was like defending her position, self-defense. I feel like there might have been fighting and chaos and some brutality. She might be speaking some truth to it, but to what extent? You know what I mean? Like, it could be that certain things might have happened in a relationship, but it doesn't mean that he was like completely a bad guy. It doesn't mean that she's completely innocent either. You know what I mean? Nine of Wands talks about, like, done the job, been there, done the job, now what? What's going to happen next? She's tired. She has no energy. She wants to defend her reputation and her rights, and she feels like she's tired, no energy. Closeted success. Courage. She feels like she needs to be courageous and defend her rights and protect her reputation. And it's about money. Again, Page of Pentacles. Yeah, let's see what the page says again. Yeah, it's about opportunities. It's focus, progress, students, apprentices, communication. It's about working with kids. She's trying to discover which direction to go into, you know? So I feel like that's what it's more about. It's like, it's more about, she doesn't know which direction to go into. And she thought this is the right direction, but I don't know. It's all alleged. I might be wrong. I mean, I do see some truth to what she's saying, but to what extent? That's the question. Is she lying at all? Is she lying at all? Is she lying? Is she lying at all about how he beat her or hurt her? Is she lying at all? Devil, reverse, taking back control into your life, breaking addictions. The Devil reversed, breaking cycles, freedom, taking back control, overcoming addiction, breaking. She's trying to break the chains from him, being safe. She's trying to take her power back. Queen of Cups. Because she was codependent on him. They were codependent. Like, what I'm saying is, like, it's not, it could be that they had a toxic relationship, you know. It doesn't mean that it was all out abuse, you know. Like, Queen of Cups is someone who's insecure and not independent, codependent, and someone who has no emotional boundaries. It's more like she also had no emotional boundaries. It's talking about a woman, Queen of Cups reverse, who had no emotional boundaries and who's very moody and insecure. So I could see, like, jealousy and toxicity in a relationship and some sort of, like, she wanted to break away from this toxicity that they both were part of. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm losing my grip on tarot. Let me know what your opinions are. This is all alleged. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she was a victim. But according to according to many body language people, the way she talks and her body language seems to say that she's like detached, you know. But then that's normal for people who've been through stuff, but not to the extent that she's detached. You know what I mean? So, okay, whatever. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and follow me.